Hello, everybody. It's Jacki Jing, and I am with Cece.
Hello.
And we have to talk about some anime because the spring 2021 season has just been absolutely out of control good. And not in the way that I'm usually about. Like, I'm not going to lie. Man, was it last season or the season before that? We had Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan together, and I was just like, this is a dream. We got violence, we got demons, we got monsters, we got political intrigue, we've got blood, we've got gore, and I get to look forward to it every weekend. And then this last season popped, or the season that we're in right now popped up, and it was like, To Your Eternity, cry your eyeballs out, Fruits Basket finale, like final season,
man.
cry your eyeballs
Fruits
out,
Basket.
Odd Taxi, about this like walrus taxi cab driver who's obviously struggling with some like mental health issues, depressing, and Tokyo Revengers about a kid who gets to go back in his past and like relive his life because he's 26 and realizes that he's worthless and made all these mistakes. I was like, this is not my cup of tea. This is not my sort of watching. I am not into this. Yeah. But lo and behold, I got sucked into all of it. Oh, forgot to bring up Megalobox about the fall of a boxing champion in the future, and he becomes addicted to drugs and like is just like has a totally messed up life. So all of it has been super depressing, to say the least. So we're gonna talk about one that was particularly depressing that we finished recently, and that's Odd Taxi. Do you want to take the floor first, or you want me to go? Okay, so first we'll do non-spoiler. We'll do a non-spoiler review. Okay. Then we'll go into spoilers. So, non-spoiler review. This started off a little bit slow for me. Again, ADD, again, loves the violence, loves the action. But I found myself coming back because the dialogue was so unique and awkward, and while awkward, strangely real. And then as things developed, oh my God, it gets action-packed. There's mystery, there's twists, there's violence, there's cruelty, there's hope, there's joy, there's comedy. It like literally just killed it. It absolutely killed it. There are numerous massive anime YouTubers who are publishing videos about Odd Taxi now, and they're just talking about how damn good it is. And they're not saying anime of the year, they're saying like one of the best anime of all time. And I think that speaks volume. Wow. So anyway, that's my non-spoiler review of it. So how would you describe it? No spoilers.
Yeah, I agree with you in the beginning. She was like, let's watch this show. And at first I was like, why? Like, about someone in a taxi driver going around town taxing people around, or whatever, however you say it.
Taxing? No, I don't know. I think that's
like,
the word.
I don't know how you bring people to different locations from, to their destinations.
The old bringing around. Yeah, okay, there we go.
However you call that. But so I was like, that's boring. And so I watched one episode, and
oh, this girl hated this show at the beginning. You did not like this show.
Because I read really slow. I'm a slow reader.
She doesn't like subbed anime, to be honest, actually.
Was not, as a kid, I wasn't a reader.
That's funny, because she writes essays and expects me to read them, by the way. She writes me
I can write
literally pages long text messages and Discord messages. And I'm like, yo, bro, I just woke up. But anyway, okay. So,
yeah, if my teacher says 4 pages, I write 8 pages. I'm a writer, but I don't like reading.
Maybe you should work on that.
I'm not a super, into reading. Anyway, so where was I? Oh, so with the show, I couldn't read I thought it was going super fast. For an anime, I was like, because I've seen a lot of sub animes, since her influence. And I feel like with this show, it was moving faster. I don't know. So I couldn't catch on to a lot. And so I was mostly watching the visuals, and I was like, okay, it's just this hippo moving,
Spoilers.
Everyone knows it's it. I mean, main character.
He's a walrus. He's not a hippo.
Walrus. Oops.
She obviously really liked it. Anyway, so
No, okay.
what were your thoughts?
Yeah, and then, but it was towards the middle. I think I rejoined with her when she was watching, and I was like, oh, this is really good when it started getting, into the action. And then I watched until the end. It was really good. Similar thoughts. I thought it was very intriguing. It kept your interest. We were, watching episode after episode. It was very fast moving, fast paced after, that.
Oh, yeah.
But.
So now we're going to talk about spoilers, everybody. So if you don't want to hear about spoilers for Odd Taxi, please come back in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And actually, if you come back and we're still talking, then I'm sorry. Then we're still in it. But yeah, actually, if you don't want to hear the spoilers, you should probably go now. Anyway, so that we're going into spoilers. So, okay. This anime it had the biggest twist at the end that I've seen in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
It was, we thought that this was an anthropomorphic show about these, this strange little animal kingdom, right? Something like that. And then it ended up being about a man who has had an extremely depressing, awful, traumatic childhood. And I tweeted out some screenshots from it today on my Twitter. And, he was bullied relentlessly. And then he went home and his mom, she bullied him because the father was a drunk and had a mistress. And so he just got caught up in this terrible cycle. And there's literally points where he talks about I couldn't look people in the eye and I just cried all the time, but then he's I never cried around my mom though, because she cried all the time. Mm-hmm. And I mean it just it literally was bringing me to tears because I could relate to this story in so many ways. And I think what made this anime so good was that it was so I've heard numerous people tell me it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. It has this amazing dialogue and these really awkward situations, and then you find out everybody's connected in different wild ways, and you find out people have different motives and people did things that you never thought that they would have done, and then all of a sudden everything just comes to this screeching halt at the end, and you find out that this main character, even though he went through all of this traumatic stuff, by the way, he loses his parents in a attempted I guess you would call it a murder-suicide, right? Because the mother tried to kill the father and the little boy with her, in her suicide. So I mean, it was just this finale is easily one of the best finales I've seen in anime, period. And everything leading up to the finale, I mean, there were what do you call it? Chase scenes, car chase scenes.
Yeah.
There was gunfights. There was people getting tortured. There was people it was literally a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, at one point
murder.
He was in the car and he jumped over the bridge, over the cliff. I was and all this money started flying out. I was and it was slow motion.
Yeah.
Across.
And it was
the
beautiful.
Water.
But the craziest thing was that at the end you see all of them as humans, and you see that this was in ways, I think it was a coping mechanism. I forgot the specific disease that the doctor said that he had, but it was wildly good. I'm trying to think of critiques for the show because I'm usually pretty critical when we do reviews. And, I mean, all I can say was maybe it's a little bit of a slow burn at the beginning, but again, if it keeps me hanging on, that's pretty impressive to me because I lose interest really quickly and stuff. So, if you haven't seen Odd Taxi, you definitely should. And it's extremely heavy and intense and amazing.
Yeah, it didn't have the gore and the blood and, some parts did get
oh my
pretty
gosh.
bloody.
The little porcupine was torturing that monkey and and having him call his mom.
Right, there was torture, but it wasn't just
he was covered in blood and bruises.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
They had a gunfight. People got
much,
shot.
like, throughout the anime.
I mean, it wasn't like Castlevania. You're not seeing people getting their faces ripped off. Or Dorohedoro. No. No, but it was still like, okay, this is like violent. This is like wild. This is crazy. You know, like I personally like that stuff. It was also funny as F. It was so damn funny.
Yeah.
Like there were so many moments that were so funny. And then there's also a lot of bad guys that like you find a goodness to, you know, like I think that I was actually talking to the executive editor. Hi, we have a bunch of people in chat. Hello. I was talking to the executive editor for Anime News Network, and we were talking about how our favorite character was like Nobu, or was it Dobu? Dobu, I think the gangster. I think he was a baboon or some sort of like primate, right? And he's literally, there's the hippo who's like obsessed with going viral and being popular, and Dobu is literally like, you know, and the hippo is like, I just want to make people happy and I want people to like me. I just want people to approve of me. And then Dobu is like, you're a narcissist. Like, you're pretending you care about what all these people think, but all you care about is what they think of you. You know what I mean? And he was like, so stop caring so much about, like, yourself and pretending like you care about what all these people think of you, and really you're just a narcissist and care about, like, yourself. And he's like, find a mentor and do, like, absolutely everything you can to be as good as them. And, like, that's it. That's what life is, you know? And I was floored. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, because, like, you know, I'm definitely, like, a people pleaser, you know? And it's like, I sit here, and she knows me, I overthink, and I'm like, God, like, I let all these people down, or, like, what can I do to, like, get, like, to entertain my patrons, and, like, to entertain the people who are, like, following me on TikTok and all this stuff. And it's, like, really, like, dude, like, is this about you, or is it truly about others? Like, you gotta, like, take a hard, like, think on that, you know? I'd like to think I'm not a narcissist, but I mean, like, that moment really made me be like, wow, like, when you're obsessing so much over what people think of you, like, you gotta take a step back, because, like, really that's unhealthy on numerous levels. So anyway, that was just, like, one of the great moments in there. But so was there any part of the story that you really wanted to talk about, or no?
I thought when the porcupine came in, it was interesting because he was basically just saying everything in, like, song. It was like a rap.
Oh my God, the porcupine who rapped. Like,
Yeah.
he was, like, so funny. For some reason I can't type. Kind of irrelevant, but what's the moving light behind you? A disco ball. It is a disco ball. There was a nano leaf behind me that worked. And hi, Nefs. Everyone go follow Nefs. She's amazing. She's, like, got like 1 million followers on TikTok or like something ridiculous, and she's like absolutely adorable and super sweet, and someday I will play Siege with her, and then I'll get my nano leaf to work here. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But yes, it's a $15 disco ball on Amazon. And thanks, B Park, Jackie, Narcissist, Jing. I'm out.
Aww.
Bye. I'm just gonna wheel myself away. I'm out.
Paul the rapper's moment.
Continue.
Scenes. I thought the finale was really good because it kind of wrapped everything up nicely, you know, with just who these people are, these animals, you know, turning into actual humans. And it was cute to see the counterparts, I think, you know, and trying to figure out what animal is that, you know, that person. And just seeing how they relate and connect to each other. I think it's really cool, and I think it's like real life. You know, that's for...
I think that was kind of what I was saying at the beginning, was like their interactions were so awkward with each other, but it was so real. Yeah. Like, he's in the cab, and people are ignoring him and kind of rude to him, but then they, like, say things so candid about their life, and then he finds himself, like, just in a whirlwind of... because these people are, like, just too candid, and you know, like, it's just one of those funny Quentin Tarantino movies where he just finds himself repeatedly, like, tripping over himself, even though he doesn't want any involvement with this stuff. But it's incredibly human, even though it was originally thought to be a story about a bunch of animals. So, anyway, yeah, sorry, I'm, like, typing. I'm saying hi to people in chat while we're doing our review.
And the war is just sacrificing himself. Like, he had the conversation with that police, bunny? Was it a bunny? I don't know. That police officer.
Was it a raccoon? I don't remember.
Was it a raccoon?
I don't know. I just remember they had, like, the dark around their eyes. Oh my gosh. talking about, sorry, finish, and then
Yeah.
I'll talk about the cat guy, you know, the one who got obsessed with the game.
Oh, man.
Talk about the
Yeah.
police though
Yeah.
first.
But I was just like, wow, the Walrus was like, you know, you're gonna end up in jail, and he was like, I'm willing to, you know, to do good. Yeah. And I was like, wow.
Nuts.
Yeah.
They were like, we were like, but you don't need to be involved in any of this. Like,
but
Otokawa.
he chose to go underground, you know, as undercover.
Yeah. And then, like,
To
also,
expose
the police
the
officer had a
evil.
twin brother who was working with the
who
mob,
was
and
working
he
with
was
the
like,
mob,
I have to
yeah.
turn my brother in.
Uh-huh.
It showed you morality, but it also showed you people lacking morals, and there was a good side and a bad side to the villains and to the heroes, I guess you would say. There was also this crazy episode about this young cat, and he just wanted to be popular so badly. So he like realized that people in his class like kind of liked erasers. So then he like started trying to like get erasers, and then he like ended up buying some eraser for some exorbitant amount of money, and then it never got delivered to him. And then it fueled an addiction to gambling through some like app called Zudin, where you like bet on animals, and he was just like dumping his whole paycheck into this app. And then Otokawa, the cab driver, accidentally like hit him, or like almost hit him or something like that, right? And then he got like the most prized like prize in Zudin, but his phone cracked and fell into water. And so then he goes on he loses his mind.
Yeah.
And he wants to kill Otokawa with like everything within him. And it's like, I'm telling you the story and it sounds insane, but the buildup of that episode, you realize why this guy has a breakdown. Like, you realize why he is on a mission to kill someone. Like, and that sounds crazy for me to even say that out loud, but it's like, you were like, oh my gosh, this poor boy had a bad childhood, had a gambling addiction, almost gets hit by a cab after finally getting the thing in his app that he wanted to get. It was heavy. Jacki and Cece lose their minds. No.
Not us.
Yeah, possibly. But
well, you know.
Anyway, is there any final thoughts on Odd Taxi?
I think we hit all the really good, you know, moments. Characters and...
I do think that we got to talk about the ending a little bit. So a lot of people are talking about the ending because it was pretty easy to assume who killed the girl, the missing girl. I knew right away, to be honest. Like, I was like, oh, okay, it was this girl who killed the girl, because she wanted to be in the idol group. But the ending, the murderer is still out there, and she gets in Otokawa's car, and she says, like, I need the tapes, so, like, this can't be connected to me in any way. So it's like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Like, she's out there, and she's in Otokawa's car, or cab, you know? So I guess it was like, it was a beautiful Quentin Tarantino-esque ending, where, like, you don't know what's gonna happen. And there have been debates about whether a sequel should come out or a new season, and a lot of people are saying, like, no, please, like, leave it as it is. And I'm kind of in that category too, because I'm just like, that just wrapped up so beautifully, and like, we just want to be left wondering, where did their lives go after this? And a lot of people with Cowboy Bebop are like, oh god, why wouldn't they do a second season? Because it's like, and some people have asked me, like, do you think Spike died? And I'm like, no, like, I've never thought that. But it's funny because, like, there are people out there who thought Spike is dead. And, like, you know, what happened to all the members of, you know, Jet and Ein and Ed and Faye? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, we won't know. I'm sure Faye is out there in the universe just, like, causing mischief. Like, that's my girl. But anyway, so I'm just trying to implore all of you to go see Odd Taxi. Like, binge watch it. It's amazing. It's worth the watch, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Seconded. Okay, thank you. So, thank you so much for watching our review of Odd Taxi. And we do trailer reactions, random stuff, talk about mental health sometimes on this channel. So, hopefully you'll subscribe to the YouTube page and, follow us on all the different social media. Bye.